Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Celebrate 32 years of leadership in business news with Business Today. From the groundbreaking AI cover of Sundar Pichai to PM Modi's exclusive on G20, we redefine headlines. Now our 32nd anniversary issue explores India 2029, the 5-year agenda with industry titans sharing exclusive insights. So, just BT it for unparalleled perspectives. Business Today. 32 years of leadership, innovation and business brilliance. Subscribe now.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra and with me is Shail Bhatnagar. Well, yesterday was clearly the best day in 2 months for the Nifty, because it has not only ensured a strong start for the February FNO series, but it has also ensured that the index has recovered almost everything that it lost during the January series. The big question is, can the follow-up buying really take the Nifty back to 22,000 levels? And that's the question that we will pose to our experts today. Very good morning to all our viewers and good morning, Shail, as well. Shail, on the Nifty, we did see yesterday half of the gains really came in from Reliance Industries, which had its own best day since September 2020. And we've actually seen that since December 14 till now, the Nifty has had 6 instances where the Nifty has gained over 1%. And yesterday was perhaps the best of them all.
A very good morning to you, Sakshi, and a warm welcome to thousands of viewers who've joined us on Market Today. We are 2 sessions away from what is the interim budget slated on 1st of February. And the mood, the texture and the sentiment on Dalal Street is fairly bullish. Sakshi, as usual, my first question, what do you want me to start with, the positives or the negatives?
Clearly the positive.
Okay, and it pays to be intensely optimistic in Indian markets. Those who've been on the long side since April have made tons and tons of money. Today is no different. So let's start with the basics, Sakshi. Yesterday's rally wiped out all of January's gains. So all of January's losses. So for 2024, the Nifty is now in the positive and it is above all small EMAs, which is 5, 7, 8, 10, 20, which basically means that the sentiment is fairly positive and on the long side when it comes to the 2 sessions that are left before the interim budget. Now let's dig this a little deeper. As you very rightly said, yesterday's 385-point rally on the Nifty was largely powered by Reliance Industries. This is the second heaviest weighted stock in the Nifty and also at a record high, and that sort of pulled a lot of stocks higher. Now let's look at how the granularity of the market is at the moment. If you look at the options chain, now 22,000 has opened up on the higher side and there is a very strong support at 21,600, at 21,500. So we have this 200-point zone in which the Nifty will now move over the next 2 or 3 days, and the mood looks really strong. As far as the index is concerned, you look at it from the point of view that yesterday was a trending day and a lot of pent-up demand most likely will now follow suit. Foreign institutional investors have now paused a bit in their selling, and yesterday's data was positive both for FIIs and DIIs. Now that might prompt a round of strong short covering on the Nifty, and therefore 21,800 opens up, 21,850 opens up. So buy the dip, anything that you see there as far as the Nifty is concerned. And what's more important, Sakshi, is that we are on the 30th of Jan and the 31st, 1 more session left. So you will see a lot of mutual fund action which will sort of help them buttress their monthly net asset value for the month of Jan. So my presumption is that you will have fairly strong traction coming in for today and tomorrow, Sakshi. These are the positives as far as the Nifty is concerned.
Okay, these are the positives that are there. Let's now talk about the Nifty Bank also, Shail, which also ably aided the rally in the Nifty in yesterday's trading session. The Nifty Bank surged past 45,000 mark as well. Although the index did make a high of 45,660 intraday, it could not sustain at those levels as well. But what do you foresee? I mean, with the kind of momentum that we saw on the heavyweight banks yesterday, HDFC, ICICI, Axis, are they now poised for a good run up ahead, and will they support the Nifty from the front now?
Okay, Sakshi, I take it that you are not interested in the negatives of Nifty. We'll look at it some other time later in the show. But coming to Bank Nifty, it's basically a pain point, Sakshi, as far as the overall market is concerned. When you look at yesterday's rally, we were up about 576 points at 45,450, and the index did not close at its day's high. As was in the case of the Nifty. So the day's high was actually 45,660, and that is exactly where the 100-day moving average stands, which essentially meant that it capped the rally of the Bank Nifty at that level. So between 100 and 200 day is where the Bank Nifty is, and of course we did see a nice uptick yesterday, but the index remains hostage to a bit of selling pressure as far as markets are concerned. And yes, you did see a strong momentum coming in as far as markets and the Bank Nifty was concerned yesterday, but that was largely driven by the kind of news that was coming between RBI, LIC and HDFC Bank. That sort of propped up the index, but ICICI Bank rose less than 1%, Axis Bank was 1.5% higher. I don't see much hope as far as Bank Nifty is concerned, Sakshi. We'll concentrate on Nifty, we'll concentrate on a lot of fabulous stocks that are very strong returns. In fact, you have three earnings today from the Nifty group, which is L&T, Dr. Reddy's and Bajaj Finserv. And of course, the market will react to ITC, NTPC and Bajaj Finance earnings that came post markets close yesterday. As far as the Bank Nifty is concerned, we are on T-1, which is the weekly expiry, which is settled for tomorrow, Sakshi.
Okay. In the F&O space, Shail, then, which will be the top stocks that you will keep on your watch list today?
Sakshi, I would imagine we'll see some strong traction on stocks which have reported earnings. So it will be ITC, it will be to the tune of 1 second please. It will be ITC, NTPC and Bajaj Finance. Bajaj Finance in particular because we have the Fin Nifty expiry today on a weekly basis, and that of course is the equivalent of HDFC Bank within Fin Nifty. Therefore, that is one stock I'll watch. Of course, there is absolutely no dearth of counters. Gas Authority of India is likely to outperform because of the strong earnings traction that has come in. Like I said, there is absolutely no crisis in the cash market, but it's the main index Nifty as well as the Bank Nifty where the trend is extremely volatile.
Okay, let's also focus on the global cues then. We actually saw overnight that the US stocks ended with strong gains overnight, with the S&P 500 index seeing record closing highs yet again. We have actually seen that the Asian markets have followed on the overnight gains on the Wall Street. They've opened up higher. So Japan's Nikkei has risen about 0.3% in the early trade. Topix has been flat, but South Korea's Kospi added about 0.8% in the early trading action. We also saw Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index also, indicating like, flattish to a positive start to the Indian markets as well. GIFT Nifty is indicating a positive start, so we'll keep an eye out on that too. The foreign flows, in fact, when we talk about the foreign investors, they've turned net buyers in the cash segment after selling in the previous 7 straight days. buying shares worth about 110 crores, while the domestic institutional investors purchased about 30 to 21 odd crore rupees worth of stocks. So strong buying coming in from both foreign as well as domestic investors. And now, as far as the stocks are concerned, as Shail pointed out, ITC, that's the top watch. Today, the cigarette to FMCG to hotel major has recorded a 10.7% year-on-year growth in the standalone net profit, which has come in at 5,572 odd crore rupees. And this is despite the weak operating numbers. The company has also announced an interim dividend of 6.25 rupees per share as well. So the stock will be in focus. Bajaj Finance has registered a 22% year-on-year growth in the consolidated net profit to the tune of 3,639 odd crore rupees. However, we have actually seen that this number has missed the street estimates, and this is despite higher loan losses and provisions that the company has been able to report this. The net interest income during the quarter also increased by 29% from a year ago period as well. The new loans have been booked with a growth of 26% to 9.86 million during the same period. However, asset quality is something that is weakened, so that will be under watch. The gross NPA rising about 4 BPS quarter on quarter to about 0.95%, and the net NPA increasing 6 BPS sequentially to about 0.37% for the quarter. NTPC has reported a 7.3% year-on-year rise in the consolidated net profit to 5,208 crores for the third quarter. The company's consolidated revenue from operations, however, have declined 4% to 42,820 odd crore rupees as well. So that stock will also be in focus. So these are the key numbers that I'm watching out for. Let's welcome our guest on the show. We have Dharmesh Kant, Head of Equity Research at Cholamandalam Securities, joining in. Very good morning to you, Dharmesh. Good to have you with us. Tell us, just 2 days ahead of the interim budget, what is the sense that you have as far as the markets are concerned? What did you make of yesterday's sharp jump in the markets? Is it a more election-led rally that we are looking at, or a more pre-budget rally?
Yeah, good morning, Sakshi. Good morning, Shail. It's definitely election-led rally we are looking at, because the finance minister was very vocal and clear that don't expect anything surprises in the budget. It's just a vote on account, and the statement of expenditure for the next 12 months would be laid through. What happened in yesterday market was more to do with what happened in Bihar and West Bengal. So with Mr. Nitish Kumar, the movement which he has done, at the same time, noises from the TMC in West Bengal has nothing but more boosted the position of the incumbent government at the center. So the chances of them coming through, scratch-free, is what the things have been shaping up. But this was liked by the market. Nowadays, it's not a single stock picking by the FIAs or the super HNIs. They do a basket kind of trading or investment. Their allocation comes to the companies which have been doing fairly well, and that's the reason why we saw select stocks and companies doing fairly well in yesterday's trading session, where the allocation and rebalancing was happening, and this will be the flavor going forward. Results so far has been good, nothing wrong with the results, and the market has been very harsh in punishing even a few line item misses in a company's report is there. So if a company is updating the earnings, overall the earnings are good, but if you have few line item misses, it's not been taken up kindly by the market, because they are spoiled for choices out there. So this is the flavor. Keep on buying, the declines remains the mantra. Though I do expect that post vote on account is being rolled out, some profit taking should happen for the health of the market.
Right. A very good morning to you, Dharmesh ji, and a very warm welcome on Market Today. You put it very well. It's now the demise, the potential demise of the India alliance that the market is probably forecasting as far as yesterday's gains were concerned. You mentioned this basket buying phenomena by ultra HNIs, as also the fact that the mainstay of the market, Reliance Industries, rose very sharply. Your views on Reliance at this point of time, and of course anything that catches your fancy which you'd like to sort of add at current levels.
Tell you what is, what's the color of the market is everything is become very expensive. If you look at 1 year or 2 year kind of a window from the earnings visibility, from nothing is justifiable at current stock prices. Reliance Industries, when Q2 numbers were rolled out, not Q3, when Q2 numbers were rolled out, so we did a valuation of SOTP based 3100 based on FY26 earnings. estimate. I'm expecting around 1,05,000 crores of total pack to be reported by then. But the sharp movement's already around 2,900 right now. So hardly any scope further for valuation-based target play to set into things. So what is happening is people are looking at more stability kind of a trajectory. And for a window as horizon, I mean the horizon has been widened from 2 years or 1 year kind of a perspective to 3 to 5 years. From that perspective, I still think railway stocks are still available at great valuation along with infra, cement, and manufacturing segment, particularly the capital goods segment, say Siemens or ABB, things like that. So you have to delve into a pure cyclical economic plays at current juncture. At the same time, BFSI is also looking very good, provided you are in the right company or the banks.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Dharmeshi, we don't even have the strength to ask you about railway stocks because they've moved up so sharply. अपने को तो बहुत डर लगता है, but rightly said, if you have a long term investment horizon, then probably even at these levels, the likes of RITES, IRCON, RVNL, IRFC, IRCTC makes sense. Just a point of caution, and Dharmesh ji has already mentioned it, that you just might see some kind of profit booking coming in post the interim budget, and then the run up remains clear till at least April, May, because that's when the national elections will be held, and mid-May you will see new government taking root at the center. Dharmesh, my one question relates to the kind of momentum that you continue to see in mid caps. What are the 2 or 3 stocks that you see doing fairly well in this kind of a market? Even in the month of January, Nifty and Bank Nifty have been weak, but the mid cap index is up 3-4%.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be from basically ancillary space, be it also auto ancillary or, ancillary to the manufacturing side. So that space is looking very good. Just to name a few, I mean, from auto space, JBM Auto looks very attractive to me because it's not only a play on auto ancillary, but it also a play on the EV buses. Both, I mean, the company is gaining good traction out there. Along with that, Bharat Forge is looking pretty well because US economy is doing well. At the same time, there's a pickup in the Indian economy. These two counters look particularly well. And then there's a Craftsman Automation. Though the numbers were not that great when they reported their Q3 earnings, but if you look at last 3-4 years kind of a trajectory, the company has really built into strength, specific, particularly on the machining side of the component manufacturing, which is a high margin kind of a business. So going forward, I expect that to play out. So these are the few names to point out right now. But at the same time, it's looking very good. Just a point on the railway thing, Shailji, I would like to highlight. In 2019 budget, the total railway allocation was around 45,000 crores to 50,000 crores, which has gone to 2,41,000 crores in the last budget. And the announcement is that 20-25% further increase will be there. So when the government allocation itself is going by fivefold in 5 years, and it's likely to go up one more notch up. So these stocks are still fairly valued. I mean, they're still available at 24-25 times of PE multiple 1 year forward when the growth is 25 plus CAGR on the earnings front and ROE is well above 20-22%. So, I mean, such plays you hardly get. So, there's a re-rating not only of the stock price but on the business cycle itself has undergone a different value proposition, as has been the case with the power plays. I mean, power sector.
Okay. Right. Dharmesh, what we'll do right now is we'll just take a short break. When we return, we'll discuss more on some specific stock ideas with you. Don't go anywhere, viewers, as a lot more is going to start with the pre-opening action.
Platform group of companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent. Managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today. Celebrate 32 years of leadership in business news with Business Today. From the groundbreaking AI cover of Sundar Pichai to PM Modi's exclusive on G20, we redefine headlines. Now our 32nd anniversary issue explores India 2029, the 5-year agenda with industry titans sharing exclusive insights. So, just BT it for unparalleled perspectives. Business Today, 32 years of leadership, innovation and business brilliance. Subscribe now.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Today on Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi. With me is Shail Bhatnagar, and we are in conversation with Dharmesh Khan. Dharmesh, just about 30 seconds to go for the pre-opening market. Could you tell us your view on ITC after the earnings?
Yeah, the earnings were muted, and I mean the cigarette business was a dampener. I was not expecting that kind of degrowth to come through. I mean the type of growth expectation was there; it was very muted. And this time around again it will float through because this is a vote on account, so there won't be any tinkering with the excise duty, which has not been the case for last years. The business did pretty well, but again the paperboard and the agri business did not do so well. FMCG was good, so it was a mixed set of numbers. Given the price hike, I mean the stock price rise which has been there, the company may come under some profit taking today. So wait for the declines to make a fresh entry.
Okay, Sakshi, we'll start paying attention to the pre-open trades. Remember, we had a strong uptick coming in from GIFT Nifty. Well, it's a blowout. This will not sustain, but I'll still mark the Nifty because it looks very, very good. 184 points higher, 21,925. Let's look at what the earnings boys are doing. Bajaj Finance, 7180 flat. How about ITC? ITC is 1.1% higher, 455. Now let's get back to index heavyweights. 2.25% higher on Reliance Industries. Fresh record high, ladies and gentlemen, 74 points over 2970 in pre-open trades. How about HDFC Bank? Flat, 1456. How about Infosys? Okay, 9 rupees higher, 1665, half a percent up. TCS is flat, actually down 0.7%. What else is in the green? How about ICICI Bank, 1% higher, 1028. Axis Bank is 1% higher, 1072. The Nifty is now a sensible 120 points higher, 21,861. We'll do a very, very quick detour to what's happening in the F&O space. Strong earnings by Gas Authority of India, the counter up 2.8%. Fresh record high here, 176.40. Bajaj Auto, no let up in the rally, 2% higher, 7700, fresh record high. Petronet LNG, strong set of numbers, 2.3% higher, 269. Container Corporation, 1.1% higher, 870. Tata Power, 1.9% higher, 389. Remember, it was a power day yesterday. Let's look at the top losers on F&O. Bajaj Finserv, okay, 1.9% higher, 1605. This is a company that will declare numbers today. Quick detour to NSE 500. What are the top gainers? Okay, the energy theme still in place. SW Solar 636, 7.5% higher. This is the circuit. We have a strong move coming in Lodha Developers 1067, 3.2% higher. Suntech Realty 469, 2.34% higher. Let's look at the most active in terms of volume. And any name that catches my fancy? No. So this is what the pre-open trades are, ladies and gentlemen. 100-point uptick on the Nifty on T-2, which is both the weekly expiry for the Nifty on Thursday and of course the interim budget. The mood and momentum in the market is on the long side as far as markets are concerned. We are now joined by Osho Kishan, Senior Research Analyst for Technicals and Derivatives at Angel One. A very good morning to you, Osho. Any two stocks that catch your fancy as far as today's markets are concerned on the long or the short side?
Very good morning, Shal. Well, yes, definitely there has been a lot of breakout stocks that has been taken in last session. So there are many counters, but specifically two counters which are looking very promising as of now. The first one is from the cement sector. Both are from the cash segment. First one is Heidelberg Cement. If we will be looking at the daily chart of Heidelberg Cement, then it has witnessed a sloping trendline breakout. So it is looking very positive, although the results are yet to come, that will be coming tomorrow. But overall, the technical setup is very positive. It has seen a very strong rebound from the 21 exponential moving average, and I am expecting that it should move towards the zone of 242 and followed by 245. On the lower end, 225 should be acting as the support zone, so one should wait for some kind of dip towards the zone of 232 to accumulate this counter for today, or maybe for 1 or 2 days. On the positional front, 242 and 245 will be the immediate target. The second one is paper counter. If I'll be talking about JK paper, then JK paper have seen a significant breakout from the zone of 420 odd levels on the weekly chart, and currently it is hovering around the zone of 436. So one should definitely try to gauge the momentum, because from here onwards one can expect a very strong upsurge in this counter. So any dip towards 435 to 432 is the buying zone for JK paper. One should definitely try to accumulate this counter. On the higher end, 460 should be the target, and on the lower end, 420 should be kept as the stop loss.
Okay. Osho, very good morning to you. Tell us your view on ITC. How would you really look at the counter? The company has posted its earnings. It's a softish quarter on some of the accounts where it has posted muted set of numbers, especially on the cigarette volume growth. How would you really look at this stock? The brokerage houses are still positive on the stock. I do see Morgan Stanley giving a 491 kind of a target, Investec giving a 499 target, HSBC, Jefferies, all positive on the stock. Do you still see investors can go on and buy this one?
Very good morning, Sakshi. Well, looking on the technical chart of ITC, then ITC has been being in a very consolidated zone in the recent period. But after the result, yes, there will be some kind of volatility that can be seen. But overall, structure-wise, there is no prominent changes that can be seen. But on the downside, the risk is limited, because the supports lie somewhere around 435 to 440 odd levels. So for an investment perspective or from a positional perspective, one should try to accumulate this counter around the zone of 440, 445 odd levels. But there will be a gradual up move. The first resistance, that is a very strong resistance for this counter, is around 465 to 470. So until it surpasses the zone on a very decisive note, one should not get very much aggressive in ITC. ITC being a heavyweight also, we are not expecting a very strong up move in this counter. But definitely some kind of volatility will be there in today's session. But after that, there will be a positional gradual up move that can be expected. On the downside, 435 should be kept as a stop loss, and 470 should be seen as the first target for ITC.
Osho, the other space that I
Sakshi, we'll pay attention to. Please continue, Sakshi. Please continue.
Osho, the other space that I wanted to draw your attention is the entire power pack. It was in full flavor yesterday, the power space, especially, the power finance majors like REC, PFC, they were back in action. Do you see a follow-up trade happening even today on the power space?
See, many counters are looking very strong on the power space. If I'll be talking about Tata Power, REC, PFC, as you have mentioned, even Adani Power is looking very positive. So many counters are looking positive. One should definitely try to gauge the momentum. But again, on the not being on a very complacent side, because we have to take care of India VIX also. So looking at the surge in the India VIX, one should definitely try to wait for some kind of correction, or wait for first half an hour for market to get settled down, and then they can approach the power sector. Because looking at the technical breakouts in majority of the power sector, most of the companies are looking very positive as of now. So Adani Power is the pick that I'll be having for the day. Adani Power yesterday has seen a very uptick of 5%, and today also we are expecting that there will be a move in this counter. Approximately 590 is the immediate target that I am expecting for Adani Power in the coming 1 to 2 days of a time frame. But overall, many power sectors like Tata Power have also seen a very significant up move. So Tata Power should also be kept in the radar. All the counters are looking positive, but one should not be very much aggressive in buying these counters. Wait for some kind of dip, wait for some kind of profit booking, and then one should definitely try to buy the momentum front counters.
Okay, pre-open rates, Sakshi, have settled down. Let's look at how the positioning is in the market before you hear the opening bell. There is a point of worry as far as Bajaj Finance is concerned. You see it, settling at 6988, 200 points lower post earnings. While this might be a normal move for Bajaj Finance, but it takes the stock below 200 DMA, and that's worrying. Osho, your view on what Bajaj Finance is telling you on the charts?
See, overall, Bajaj Finance is opening at the previous swing low, which was approximately the same level of 6900, 6980 kind of a level. So again, this can be seen as the first support, but looking at the overall setup, there can be some further correction in this counter. On the downside, it has the potential to test the zone of 6880 or 6900 odd levels. That means more 100 point of downside can be seen in this counter. So one should definitely try to stay sidelines from Bajaj Finance once it sees a very strong resurgence or a very strong bounce above the zone of nearly 7150 odd levels. Then one should definitely try to accumulate. As of now, the technical parameters and even the pre-opening prices are highlighting that it has a potential downside. So one should try to stay sidelines in this counter.
Okay, let's get Dharmesh into the conversation. Sir, I'd like to take your view on IREDA. This is, of course, Indian Renewable Energy Development Authority, got listed at 52 rupees against an issue price of 32. Sir, what is driving this stock? Every day 5% circuit, even today 184.80, about 3.5% higher in opening ticks. What is your view? Is this overheated? Because the rally is now coming on very low volumes. Your view on IREDA?
Stanley, I wish I knew the answer and could have replied you in a more better and objective way. So, while defying gravity kind of a movement, no matter what can be the size of the opportunity. I mean, imagination can go wild regarding the size of the opportunity. But such kind of a pricing, I mean, when the IPO came, we did come out with the IPO note, and my own expectation was 45-50 should be the upper band of the price trajectory for next 1 year or so. But it's at 184, 185. I'm unable to comprehend why this such great move is there. The only one reason which I could see is the lack of free float or the liquidity float which is there, and too many people, just eyeing to garner this space as much as they can. So too much liquidity and very lack of supply of the free float stocks. So that may be the reason. Other than that, nothing to my mind.
Okay. Uh, Dharmesh, could you also share your view in the entire oil and gas space? We've been looking at fresh momentum build-up, be it in the upstream or the OMC space, even the gas majors as well. Yesterday, Gas Authority of India Limited, GAIL, also had a news flow that the company has signed a long-term LNG purchase agreement with Abu Dhabi National Oil Company Gas, and this is for the purchase of around 0.5 MMTPA LNG from ANDOC Gas. Under this agreement, deliveries will commence from 2026. So it's a long 10 years kind of a contract. What does that mean for GAIL for a long-term perspective, very, very long-term perspective?
Yeah, first, I mean, the entire oil and gas space, including the OMCs, are in a very sweet spot. And the reasons being for OMCs, they have been able to command the retail price of both petrol and diesel where they were 1 year back. However, the prices of crude oil has not gone up in the international market. They are actually at the lower end of the levels at around 70 to 80 barrels per So but that is helping them out, and they are building up their coffers, so their profitability is going up out there. Coming on the oil exploration side, like ONGC and all, they are still very cheap. If you look at the valuation multiples and the type of ROEs they generate with the compounding of profitability growth, they are still very cheap compared to what the other companies are available in the kind of market juncture. So that traction is playing out. For gas, the biggest concern about any gas supplier, be it Gas Authority of India or others, are that the pricing of gas fluctuates quite rapidly in the international market. So signing up a long-term contract gives you a very, stable visibility as to the earnings, and that is what can drive the stock price again higher. It is a very good and positive welcome move for Gas Authority of India for this signing of the contract. And the stability in the business and earnings visibility is what people look forward to, which this will do to a larger extent. At the same time, again, the valuation comfort is there. So this space is enjoying the valuation comfort, and that will keep the budge up and the valuation buying happening in all these counters.
Okay. Well, right now I think we're just about 30 seconds away from the market opening. Shell, looks like we are headed for a positive opening,
Yes.
21,775.
Yes, Sakshi, let's see whether we build up from here on or not. We are 2 days away from the interim budget, and the mood, the texture, and the tonality of the market, of course, looks positive. We have the first rates ticking in, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be, of course, focusing on the earnings boys, in particular Bajaj Finance. This is something that's now creating problems on the long side. The counter is settled below 200 DMA, as also ITC, a strong dividend play, although cigarette volumes and etc. have been a bit of a pain. Okay, flat opening, 38 points on the Nifty on the green, 21,776. The Nifty bank is 100 points higher, 45,552. It's a strong uptick on the Nifty IT index, 260 points higher, 350 points higher, 36,863, and the Nifty 500 index has also opened in the green. Let's look at the index heavyweights. Okay, Bajaj Finance, ladies and gentlemen, is in 3.76% higher post earnings, now firmly below 200 DMA, 6,917. What is Reliance doing? Reliance at the moment is trading flat, 28.99. How about Infosys, 16 rupees higher, 1672, and HDFC Bank, 5 rupees higher, 1459. How about ITC? Again down, earnings a bit disappointing, 5.3 rupees lower, 444.50. What is gaining strength in the Nifty? Okay, ICICI Bank 0.5% higher for you, Axis Bank 0.5% higher for you. Let's look at L&T. This is flat ahead of its earnings, 3,700 for you. Immediately we'll shift focus to the FNO stocks, where you see some good green ticks coming in early trade. The Nifty is now 72 points higher when it comes to the index. 21,800 is now with the bull, Sakshi, and that's a very good sign. Strong moves coming in on Petronet LNG, 2% higher post earnings, 268.40. Birla Soft, 2% higher, 849. Let's look at the all-time highs as far as FNO stocks are concerned. Gas Authority, 1% higher, 173. Birla Soft, 850 record high. Persistent has given a dividend of 32 rupees. That will get adjusted, 87.70, 1.6% higher. Tata Motors, Shriram Finance, both 1.2, 1.3% higher. What's also taking away the market in NSE 500 in terms of top gainers? NBCC 4% higher, 132. Infibeam 6% higher, 37. NHPC 4.5% higher, 91.30. RBA, this is Restaurants Brands India, very strong set of numbers, 5.7% higher, 121. And of course you have RITES again rising 3% higher, 744. Let's look at the entire railway PSU pack and see what's clicking on the green. Okay, RITES is up 3.5%, BEML up 2.7%, HBL Power 2.4% higher. This is Sakshi what I see. Let's get Osho into the conversation. Osho, anything that catches your fancy in the opening quotes?
See, there are few counters which are looking very positive. First of all, the counter which is in my radar is Dr. Reddy. It has not given a breakout, but I am expecting the breakout to happen in a very early phase because the counter is hovering near a very strong resistance of near about 59-50 odd levels. But again, the result is still pending, so one can expect a volatility in this counter. The other one is Indigo. Indigo has seen a strong movement in today's session, and one can expect the momentum to continue on the higher end. Approximately 2980 is the target that one can expect for the day. So any kind of dip in Indigo should augur very well for the buyers in today's session. So Indigo and Dr. Reddy, one should definitely keep them in their radar. And even Petronet is looking very positive, as you have already mentioned. It was already yesterday, it has already seen a very strong closer, and today there has been a follow up in the counter. So one can see Petronet also in today's sessions.
A lot of these PSU names are again flying away. NHPC, NBCC. Also, what would you say on the kind of move that we are seeing on these stocks? And is this a momentum that one should be looking at chasing?
See, overall, if I'll be talking firstly about NHPC, then obviously in the last 3 days, if I'll be talking on the technical front, the risk reward is definitely not matching. But the momentum, yes, there has been a strong momentum. Volume has significantly increased in this counter. So one should definitely try to gauge the momentum throughout. One should trail their profits on the higher end. As of now, the fresh entry is not, one should refrain from a fresh entry in the counter. But obviously, if those who have already have position in NHPC, then they should trail their profits with a stop loss of nearly 88.20. So that should be something that one can keep it for a positional basis. Overall, it is looking very positive, and even in the coming near term also, one can expect a decent up move from here onwards also.
Okay. One counter I'll point out, which I also spoke of yesterday, Shakti Pumps. It's again up second day in a row, double digits, 13.5% high, and trade at 14.42 right now at this current level. Osho, how would you really look at this very, very strong move that's just occurred in 2 days? On 25th of Jan, it ended at 1059. Within just 2 sessions, it's up very, very sharply. I think 28% in the last 3 odd trading sessions. How would you look at this move?
See, this move is very significant. This has been a very strong movement that one can see in any of the counters, but definitely looking at the recent developments, fresh entry is not advisable. Overall, it is looking very positive, and one should definitely, who have the position in this counter, should definitely hold it for a even positional basis. But technically, there is no risk reward that is matching in this counter, so one should stay sidelines, those who do not have positions in this company.
Okay, that's far as the PSU and the high beta counters are concerned. I'd like to mark a few stocks that are doing phenomenally well. There's no stopping BHEL. Low ticket, high beta, and 228 for you, 227.90 as far as the prices are concerned in the futures segment. What else is moving in strength? Okay, let's look at the most active counters. We have Bajaj Finance in deep pain. Now 4.5% higher. Earnings haven't been appreciated by the market. 6,866 for you, and it's the second most active counter, sadly with losses. 410 crores worth of sales at the moment that have been seen in terms of traction and volume. Let's get Osho's view in as far as the top playing stocks are concerned in the railway space. Osho, what would be your favorite pick as far as railway stocks are concerned?
See, overall, all the railway counters have seen a very significant up move. But even if I'll be talking on the technical front, then yes, there is some kind of initial, or there can in between profit booking that is being witnessed in majority of the counters. But still, the Tex Macro rail is still having potential. It is looking very positive as of now, and one can look for a target of nearly 225 on the short term. and once it surpasses the zone, then again it has the possibility to reach even in the higher levels in the uncharted territory. On the lower end, 200 and 195 is the support zone. So even though if there will be any kind of correction towards the zone of 200, it should augur very well for the buyers. Majority of the counters are looking very positive. Tex macro rail is because it is hovering just near the 52 weeks high, and I am expecting that the time it surpasses the closing, the previous closing, that is approximately 217, 218 odd levels, then from there onwards it can see a very strong momentum on the higher front.
Okay, one stock I'd like to mark, which is JK Paper. Remember, Osho started his conversation with this stock. 445 is what I see, and a fairly strong move coming in here. I believe this will be a record high. No, still, the intraday high is 453, and that was stuck somewhere on December of 2022. So, a scale up happening on JK Paper. Remember, the industry has shown a 25% uptick in paper prices over the last 2 or 3 months or so, and that is reflecting very, very well on many stocks, including JK Paper. Let me just show you the kind of moves that have come in as far as paper stocks are concerned. West Coast Paper is up 3.5%, 787. Rama Newsprint is up 3%, 2180. We have a strong move coming in on Andhra Paper, 2.28% higher, 632, and of course JK Paper is now up 2%, 445. What else is sticking? Adani Power, 550. I believe this was something both Dharmeshji and Osho pointed out as far as prices are concerned. CESE, fresh record high. This is Calcutta Electricity Supply Company out of West Bengal, 145. Very strong move coming in BHEL. So it's again going to be a power related day, Sakshi.
Absolutely, and along with power, we're also looking at both IT and metals also ticking higher in trade. Especially on the IT names, we have stocks like TCS, LTI Mindtree, Wipro, Infosys, all ticking very, very sharply higher in trade. And even the mid-cap IT names are buzzing in the F&O space, be it Birlasoft, be it Persistent Systems, be it Coforge. All of them are moving up very, very strongly. Dharmesh, your thoughts on the entire IT pack, large caps versus the mid caps? Where do you see, the pain now getting abated and finally things moving in the positive direction?
Yes, actually, as far as pain getting abated is concerned, is definitely the large caps. So that was the area where the pain was there, and last quarter earnings, no negative news flow was there. Though the earnings were not great, I mean, it's more of a flattish kind of earnings was being reported. At the same time, the visibility on the order wins or the deal wins was not that great. However, the management sounded, the body language of, in fact, all managements of all the companies was much more better than what it was. And the market took relief from that fact and they started building on two positions. As far as mid cap and small cap is concerned, they have been doing fairly well. I mean, all the numbers, be it Persistent, Mastec, Newgen, they all reported, even Gen Technologies, so smaller company, but they all reported a very good set of numbers. Buildersoft reported a very great set of numbers, and any company which has to do with AI or ER&D space has been reporting a fairly better set of numbers. That includes LTTS as well. So if you have already invested in mid and small cap, stay invested. No need to deploy fresh money, as valuations have run up far too fast. However, large caps, one can still deploy money, and the case in point being TCS and SCL Technologies. These are the two companies which I think are better off compared to Infosys or a Wipro.
Okay, the Nifty is now in the red. It's about 20 points in the red, 21,715. So the early gains have swiftly been taken out. And, of course, a lot of stocks from the heavyweight space that are inducing this pain. Bajaj Finance now down 4%, Bajaj Finserv down 1.7% in trade. Along with it, you also have heavyweight counters like Reliance Industries that are now seeing some cuts coming in after the very strong move that we saw yesterday. 7% intraday move on Reliance Industries yesterday, and it's now down by about 0.6% odd. You're also looking at counters like HDFC Bank, that's again lower in trade by 0.2% odd. ICICI Bank flattish with a negative bias. ITC, after the earnings, is down by about 0.4%. You have Maruti Suzuki that's down in trade, and a whole host of other names as well. L&T ahead of the numbers, down by 0.7%. Titan down 0.7% as well. So a lot of heavyweight counters really leading to this pressure build up in trade as well. Osho, your thoughts? Yesterday's gains are not, getting continued in the early action. But do you think these dips will be bought, or is that it?
See, definitely, if I'll be talking about the derivative front, then 21,800 was something where a lot of call writers have taken their position. So there can be some kind of profit booking or some kind of even fresh short that can happen in the market. But once the level reaches towards the zone of 21,600 on spot levels, then we can see some buying attraction in the market. So overall, there can be some kind of both ways movement for the call writers, for the even put buyers, or even the call writers, or even once there will be some kind of dip towards the more 100 points, then we can again witness the bulls to augur well. And most of the counters, because yesterday majority, the Reliance has seen a very significant up move of 7%. The India VIX have seen a significant move of nearly 13%. So one should not be very much complacent with the up move. There can be some kind of initial hiccups that can be seen. So first 50 minutes, first 1 hour should be seen as the market to settle down on the prices. And once the prices settle down for majority of the companies, then one can definitely look for buying opportunities in today's session.
Okay. Sakshi, we'll just pay attention to the market for a while as far as the broader sense is concerned. Nifty slipped into the red, 32 points lower, 21,700 for you. Bank Nifty is down, flat, 45,415. Let's look at the index in terms of contribution. The loss is because of Reliance, 20 points contribution to this fall of 40 points. So 50% is because of Reliance. The counter down about 0.9%. No problems there, because yesterday it hit a record high and had rallied to the extent of about 7.5%. The pain point really is Bajaj Finance, 6,900. Whether this is an opportunity to buy for the long term, only time will tell, but 4% lower post earnings, and this is contributing to a fall of 19 points on the Nifty. L&T ahead of earnings, flat, contributing 8 points lower. ITC post earnings 5 points lower, and NTPC again a bit of a pain here, 1% lower. What's in the green? Infosys and TCS together, they are pulling up the Nifty by to the tune of about 13 points. Bharti Airtel 1% higher, this is a record high, 7.2 points in the green, and Hindalco moving fairly stronger as far as the index is concerned, 3% higher. There is a dramatic profit booking, Sakshi, that's happening across the PSU pack. IFCI, you mentioned 7% higher, it's now down 4.5%. MTNL 3.5% higher, 43.35. Remember, these are very, very high beta stocks. We are just marking prices. There's no point taking a technical view because charts are really, really overstretched. We don't want people to get into it on the wrong side when the trend reverses. IREDA 4% higher in the morning, now down 1.2%. IRFC 1.7% lower, GSFC 1.6% lower. So this is a much needed bout of sensibility that is coming into the market. Let's see for how many minutes it's lasts, but that is how markets are at the moment. Let's look at all-time highs before we head into a break. CESE 5% higher, 146.50. We have Brigade Enterprises 3.7% higher, 1046. BEML 3% higher, 32.96. NHPC 3.5% higher, 89.90. Birlasoft 852, 2.5% higher. A quick break, ladies and gentlemen, and on that side, on the other side of the break, we still have Dharmeshji and Osho Krishnan talking about markets with Sakshi and me. Stay tuned.
Group of companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today. Celebrate 32 years of leadership in business news with Business Today. From the groundbreaking AI cover of Sundar Pichai to PM Modi's exclusive on G20, we redefine headlines. Now our 32nd anniversary issue explores India 2029, the 5-year agenda with industry titans sharing exclusive insights. So, just BT it for unparalleled perspectives. Business Today, 32 years of leadership, innovation, and business brilliance. Subscribe now.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Today on Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi with me, Shail Bhatnagar, and we're in conversation with two of our special guests, Dharmesh Kant and Osho Krishan, who are helping us navigate through this volatile market scenario that's emerging early in the morning. We're seeing now a dip of about 24 points on the Nifty, 21,715. It's the pressure that's building up from the banking space. The Nifty Bank flattish with a negative bias. You have PSU banks, financial services, and the autos now dipping into the red, apart from the major indices. However, there are few pockets which are buzzing in trade. You now see the realty space ticking higher, 0.6% up in trade. The IT pack helping the index stem the losses. Metal index up by about 0.5%. Oil and gas, healthcare, these are the indices that are moving up. A slew of PSU names that are really doing very well at this point in time. Looking at stocks like BHEL, that's the one that's moving the fastest in the F&O space, 3.8% higher. You also have stocks like BEML that's moving up in trade. Then you also have capital markets related space that's buzzing now. So you have stocks like BSE, that's up by 4%, CRISIL, that's up by 2.7%, Angel One up by 2.5% as well. Let me get Osho into the conversation. Osho, of course, it'll be difficult for you to mention on Angel One, but on the capital markets related stocks, CRISIL, BSE, what would you say?
See, overall majority, all the companies are looking very positive as of now. CRISIL is at a support of 200-day SMA. So from here onwards, one can look for accumulation in this counter, because if we will be looking at the previous consolidation phase, then it was near the same level, 3,900. The counter has seen a very strong consolidation. So that can be seen as a very strong support base. And even that is coinciding with the 200-day SMA. So from here onwards, one should definitely try to accumulate this counter, but not on a very, in a very staggered manner, not at a single go. And from here onwards, one can expect a gradual up move in this counter towards the zone of 4150 to 4200 in the on positional basis. And even after reaching that levels, it has the potential to retest the zone of 4400 levels. And again, many counters are also looking very positive. As you have mentioned, BSE. So BSE is near to the resistance zone of 21-day exponential moving average. So once it surpasses the zone of 2240 very decisively on the spot zone, then from there onwards we can see a decent up move in this counter. As of now, it is hovering just below the resilience zone. So one should try to stay sidelines and accumulate only above the zone of 2240 odd levels.
Okay. Right. The other space that's buzzing in trade is the real estate space. Dharmesh, wanted your view. We've seen a slew of earnings also come about, macro tech developers, and we've seen stunning kind of moves coming in on the realty pack the last entire year, calendar year 2023, and the buzz remained for a large part of January as well. Where do you see that fresh buys can be initiated into the real estate space with a long-term view?
The long-term view for real estate space is still intact. I mean, the trajectory of more sales happening is already there, and it's happening out there. Whatever, property dealer checks we do, they are suggesting inquiries are still high and deals are happening out. And see, quarter and quarter earnings may take, beating, because real estate is a space where you should look at annualized earnings, or better 2 and 3 years kind of aggregate earnings kind of portfolio. From that perspective, I still think DLF stands a very good chance. DLF, Phoenix Mill, and Oberoi Realty, all three are sitting on pretty large inventories, and the working progress is also there for the new constructions which are happening. So, put together, all three looks pretty attractive even at current levels. So, I mean, 15-20% kind of an upside from a year's perspective, holding is likely on the cards. And the correction which has happened in Oberoi Realty gives you a fresh entry point chance as well.
Fair enough.
Okay. Sakshi, let's just analyze the Nifty in terms of long build-ups and short coverings. That essentially means that these are the set of stocks that are helping the Nifty to move higher, although the index is still down 10 points, 21,725. So in terms of long build-ups, you have BPCL up 2%, you have ONGC up 1.9%, Bharti Airtel 1.4%, and then you have the likes of Infosys, you have Hindalco, and about 5-7 more stocks where the gains are not substantial. Let's look at the short coverings. At the moment on Hindustan Unilever, 1.6% higher, 2,500 almost in the futures space. JSW Steel 1.1% higher at about 824. So when you look at long build-ups which are about 19, and short coverings which are about 4 plus 4, 8 plus 1, 9. So that's about 29 stocks that are propelling the market higher. But it's the long unwinding that's creating a problem, which is in HDFC Bank and Index heavyweight, and of course the build-up of shorts, extensive shorts that are getting built up on Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, Ultratech Cement, Titan, and to some extent, Reliance. So that is pulling the market on a net basis lower. No issues as far as the sentiment is concerned, but that's the broad granularity of the market. Let's look at what's moving in the Nifty IT space. This is an index which is 240 points higher when it comes to the overall number, 36,770 in front of you. And of course, we have seen strong moves coming in on Birlasoft, but let's look at it in the point of view of how the stocks are performing. We have Wipro up 1%, Emphasis at 2600 is 0.7% higher, about 1% higher on Infosys and Tech Mahindra. Coforge, L&T Technologies, L&T Mindtree up between 0.5% and 1%. So strong moves coming in there as far as the broader markets are concerned. Zydus Life, this is something that needs to be watched. They've come up with an oral anti-cancer prostrate drug, prompting the stock to move 1.5% higher, 760, and strong moves coming in on all oil marketing companies. Indian Oil Corporation 149.40, 1.8% higher, BPCL in the green, and HPCL in the green. Sakshi, what are you observing?
In the small cap space, there is some fresh buying getting emerged, Shail. So I was looking at a counter called UTI AMC. It's sharply higher in trade, and I was talking about the capital markets related stocks. So this one caught my eye from the Nifty small cap space. It's in the green for the 4th straight day, and it's up about 9%. In the last 1 year, it's gained about 32%. Osho, would you be able to give your view on this stock?
Yes, UTI AMC, if I'll be talking on the technical front, then it has been hovering in the cycle of higher highs, higher lows. Today, on a very strong volumes, this counter has seen a very strong up move of nearly 9% as of now. So if I'll be talking on the technical front, it has seen a breakout around the zone of 900, 910 odd levels. And from here onwards, one can expect on immediate basis, 970 is the first target. Once it surpasses those levels, then there will be another 70 points of movement that can be seen in this counter. So 1020, 1030 is the target on positional basis for UTI AMC. Overall, it is looking very positive, and one should even try to gauge the momentum even at current levels also.
Okay, fair enough. Let's look at some other stocks as well that are moving up. In the F&O space, you have now Syngene that's sticking higher very, very sharply, especially, about 3.5%, 4% higher in trade. When we also look at HPCL now moving up, Indian Energy Exchange, that's the other counter that's moving up. ACC, that's up by 2.7% odd in trade. Then you also have stocks like Shriram Transport Finance that were mentioned by Shell yesterday also. That's, running away for the second day in a row. And BPCL that's moving up. So it's the oil and gas stocks that are coming back in flavor. So BPCL, HPCL, you have again ONGC. Anything from the oil and gas basket, Osho, that you'd like to mention?
See, BEML is looking very positive. It has seen a breakout consolidation breakout. So from here onwards, one can expect a decent up rally towards the zone of 3450 on immediate basis. Majority of the oil OMCs and oil exploration companies are looking very positive. So even BPCL is looking positive. So, but for BPCL, the support lies around the zone of breakout, approximately 480. That means 4% on the downside. And from here onwards, one can expect the first target in BPCL should be approximately 515. So as per risk reward, it is not matching, but for aggressive traders, one can definitely take positions keeping a stop loss on the higher front 490, immediate target 515.
Okay. So that's as far as the oil and gas space is concerned. The other counter that's ticking higher is Bharti Airtel Osho, 1180 right now, 1.6% higher. After a long haul, the stock has started to move up again. Your own sense of how the counter is poised to move up on charts, what are they saying now?
See, overall, this counter is at a very overbought territory. So from here onwards, one should not be very much aggressive on the higher targets
Okay.
because 1200 being a psychological level, it will be having a lot of writing positions on the call front. So that should be acting as the first resistance. If there will be any kind of breach, that too in the overbought zone, then there can be some movement of approximately 40, 50 odd points, but that is only above the zone of 1200. On the downside, it has the potential to get corrected or profit booking can be seen towards the zone of 1120. So any high towards the zone of 1190, 1200 should be seen as to light the positions, and even the aggressive traders can go a kind of a short, make a short position in Bharti Airtel for the target of 1120, 1130 in the short term period.
Okay, got that, Osho. Let's also look at some of the other big movers in trade right now. On Syngene, what would you say, Osho? It's the top mover in the F&O space, 4% higher in trade. The earnings were okay, but the guidance cut was something that was disappointing from Syngene. Your own sense, they are constantly predicting a 2-3 quarters, more kind of a slowdown in the US biotech funding space that will continue to put pressure on the overall earnings. Why is this sudden move here that you could mention?
See, this counter is still in a corrective phase. If I'll be talking on the technical front, it is hovering way below the 200-day SMA and even the cluster of its short-term exponential moving average. So until it surpasses the zone of nearly 730, 735 odd levels, one should stay sidelines in this counter because overall, if I'll be seeing the technical front, it is making lower highs on the daily chart. So aggressive traders, yes, there is a potential that it can test the zone of 730, 735, but on a positional basis or for an investment point of view, one should definitely wait for the levels to get breached on the higher end. 740, 745 will be the zone breaching which this counter can witness some kind of buying traction. So better to wait for those levels to get breached, and then one can accumulate for the immediate higher target of nearly 780, 770, which is the bearish gap on the daily time frame. So overall, the structure of this chart still is on the sideways. One should stay sidelines from the counter. 745 is the level where one should accumulate for the target of 770.
I think we are going to have a massive breakout on Life Insurance Corporation of India. The counter is at 946 and moving fairly sharply on a decent turnover. Let me give you some idea. So far about 165 crores worth of shares have been traded on LIC. The counter is up about 3.6% and the 5-day average is about 300 crores. So 50% of that turnover is already done in the first half an hour of trade. And remember how RIL moved yesterday. LIC is the largest holder of RIL stock, about 6% of equity, valued at about 1,20,000 crores, is with LIC. So it's the re-rating of the portfolio that's happening as far as LIC is concerned. This is something that needs to be looked at. Osho, your view on the counter?
See, LIC is looking very positive. It has seen a very significant vertical rally that I can say from the zone of 620, 650 odd levels, and there has been no looking backwards for this counter. Even at current levels, it is looking very positive. There can be some kind of initial hiccups or in between hiccups, but the support lies around the zone of 900 to 880 odd levels. On the higher front, it has the potential to go towards the zone of 960 followed by 980 and 1000 odd levels. So for on positional basis, one should definitely accumulate this counter. 1000 should be the target. For short-term traders, better to wait for some kind of dip towards 920, 910 odd levels, keeping a stop loss of 880 for immediate upside target of 980 to 1000 also.
Okay. So actually there's another stock I'll mark, and that's Indian Oil Corporation. Why I wish to mark this is for two reasons. The price that you see, 150, this is going to be a breakout here as well. This was the last seen in August of 2017. So it's a 7-year breakout that is happening on the price. Of course, between that 7 years, the stock has declared 2 stock splits, and therefore the liquidity has risen. But 150 for you, and the beauty of Indian Oil Corporation, Sakshi, is that it's trading at a price earnings multiple of 4.4 rupees, 4.4 times, and it's done fantastically well as far as stock prices are concerned. Osho, what is IOC's chart telling you?
See, again, this counter has also seen a vertical rally from the zone of 90, and it is now at 150 odd levels. Again, the same kind of a structure that we have seen in LIC. So from here onwards, any kind of dip towards the zone of 138, 140 odd levels should augur very well for the buyers, because the rally that has been seen, it has taken a lot of volume traction in it. So from here onwards, definitely there should be some upside potential in this counter, but the targets are not very much aggressive in this counter. 158, 160 is the first target that one should look for Indian Oil. But above that, again, we need to review this counter. Better to wait for some kind of dip, some kind of profit booking in this counter towards the zone of 140. That will be the best level to accumulate it for short to medium term perspective.
Okay, Sakshi, let's discuss IOC in a bit more detail. Remember what Saurabh Mukherjee, who was with us yesterday on Market Masters, was talking about HDFC Bank in terms of valuations. Well, IOC is there and deeply in the value. If you look at the 10-year median PE for IOC, that's somewhere like 8.96, and the current PE of IOC is somewhere like 4.4. So you see it's available at a 50% discount to its own median. And when you look at the price to book, the price to book is fairly okay. But let's look at the 10-year average. Of course, it's very close to its 10-year average of 1.13, and the price to book at the moment is 1.1. So actually deep value in this counter. and that's visible from the fact that it has a market capitalization of just 2,07,000 crore rupees. And when you look at the financials of this company, the top line is somewhere in the vicinity of 7 lakh, actually 8,88,000 crore rupees, and intensely profitable. 46,870 crores is the profit in the past trailing 12 months. So that's how it is, Sakshi. We might be, looking at rallies with a jaundiced view कि इतना बढ़ गया, लेकिन there is deep value encounters like Oil India, like ONGC, like Indian Oil Corporation, HPCL, BPCL, to name quite a few, Sakshi.
Absolutely. So that's as far as the entire energy pack is, and right now a very, space that is buzzing very sharply and a lucrative space to be in. The other space that's moving up is the metals pack, 0.8% higher. So you do have stocks like Hindalco, JSW Steel, Tata Steel, all moving up in tandem. Osho, anything from the metals pack that really strikes you at this current time on charts, and where do you see value emerging?
See, Hind Copper is the first counter that is looking very positive to me. Even from yesterday's trading session, it has not done much in last trading session, but I was expecting the up move to continue in this counter. Again, it does not. It is a low beta counter, so we do not expect a very strong upside movement in this counter. But looking at the technical setup, it has seen a consolidation breakout. So from here onwards, 292, 295 is the target that one can expect in Hind Copper. There are many other stocks like National Aluminium is also looking very positive. If I'll be talking on the technical front, it has given a breakout uh, on 25th of January, and there onwards we have seen a follow-up buying. There has not been very much significant follow-up buying in National Aluminium, but we can witness that on the higher end, the consolidation range is approximately of 15 odd points. So from here onwards, one can expect a target of 155 for National Aluminium on the positional front. So many counters are looking positive, but these two have seen a breakout. So one should definitely keep these two counters in their radar.
Okay. There's another counter that I just saw. It's from the pharma space. While Dr. Reddy's is on the move from the large caps ahead of its earnings, there are other counters that are moving up very sharply. Orchid Pharma is one stock that I wanted to talk. I think it's hit 20% upper circuit now. And I think this is relating to a drug that the company has now launched, antibiotic XB Life B, and that is perhaps the reason why the stock is on the move. Osho, anything on Orchid Pharma that you could share with our viewers?
See, again, this counter have seen on technical front, this counter have seen a consolidation breakout, but these kind of moves are very rare in this counter. So obviously the risk reward is not favorable, 20% on the higher end, but those who are holding it should definitely keep the counters with a stop loss of nearly 800 odd levels. There is a strong resurgence that can be seen if I'll be having a very broader time frame. So there has a breakout near the zone of 600. From there onwards, the counter have surged approximately 150 and again witnessed a breakout in today's session. So there is a gradual up move in this counter. So one should definitely keep it on a positional basis or for an investment perspective. Looking at the overall technical setup, historical technical setup, this counter seems to poise for a higher target of nearly 880 to 900 odd levels.
Okay, 900 odd levels. Remember, Orchid Pharma was also a stock where Investec brokerage firm had initiated its coverage a month back, suggesting a 23% upside. And this is despite the 2023 year panning out to be a good one for the stock. It had risen about 86% odd in the last year, and it's now up again. It's crossed the target price that Investec had of 800, and now Osho is giving us the next target of 900 odd on Orchid Pharma. Shail, what else are you watching out for?
Sakshi, it's 9:57. We'll begin wrapping up the market. Well, it's a flat kind of a move on the index for the first half an hour, 40-45 minutes. 21,715, 22 points lower on the index as far as the Nifty is concerned. The Nifty Bank at 45,300. It's being pulled down as far as prices are concerned by the private sector setup. You have pains coming into HDFC Bank. You have pain in other stocks as well. And let's look at how the PSU basket is performing, and that brings up with a lot of interesting names today. BHEL 3.7% higher. You have a strong move coming into IOC. Hindustan Petroleum is 3% higher, 468. Strong move coming into LIC, 948, reaching to an all-time high number. Within the housing spaces, as far as the financing companies are concerned, LIC Housing Finance is 2% higher at 616.80. Petronet LNG is at 217, the futures trading 2.1% higher. Sakshi, in the broader markets, the mood, the tenor and the tonality is fairly strong, but you see some amount of profit booking happening on Nifty. No complaints there, because yesterday was a day when you saw the index gobble up 350 points. So a bit of rest after a strong intraday party. Let's see what the second half brings for the markets. But for now, it's quite even Stevens as far as the bulls and bears are concerned. It's the Fin Nifty's expiry. Bajaj Finance is in extreme pain, and that's a bit of a difficult thing to do. But flat to sideways trade on the indices, the major ones, and the party continues in the cash counter. Sakshi.
All right. With that, thanks a lot, Osho, for being with us on this special edition and helping us navigate through a lot of stock ideas. And here's hoping that you have a great trading day ahead. The markets have slipped into the red marginally. The Nifty down by about 0.05%. 21,730. The Nifty Bank is down by 0.2% lower. 45,338 on the Nifty Bank index. Apart from this, it's the consumer durable space and the private banks that have slipped into the red. That's creating some pressure on the markets overall. But it's the media, metals, oil and gas, IT sectors that are helping the market stay afloat and not slip sharply. A lot of stocks that are buzzing. BHEL, the top mover on F&O space, 4% higher. Z Entertainment, 3.7% up. Indian Energy Exchange, about 3.6% higher. Cholamandalam Investec now up by about 4%. Syngene is up in trade as well. That's as far as the F&O action is concerned. On the Nifty pack, you have the oil and gas names are really up and about. BPCL, HPCL, ONGC, and you also have IOC that's moving up. Along with this, we also have stocks like the metal pack, JSW Steel, Tata Steel, Hindalco, all moving up in trade. The auto stocks are now picking up pace. So you have Bajaj Auto, Tata Motors, that's also up in the top 10 movers on the Nifty. And of course, it's the IT heavyweight counters, Infosys, HCL Tech, Tech Mahindra, and even LTI Mindtree that are up and about at this point in time. We'll wrap it up at this point on the Market Today opening edition, but do stay tuned throughout the trading session. A lot of action will follow suit, earnings interactions. We will also have a pre-budget panel discussion at 12:30 p.m., so don't miss that one.
Group of companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today. Celebrate 32 years of leadership in business news with Business Today. From the groundbreaking AI cover of Sundar Pichai to PM Modi's exclusive on G20, we redefine headlines. Now our 32nd anniversary issue explores India 2029, the 5-year agenda, with industry titans sharing exclusive insights. So, just BT it for unparalleled perspectives. Business Today, 32 years of leadership, innovation and business brilliance. Subscribe now.
View on HDFC Bank after disappointing whole performance in January.